So he's trying to join the Zoom now.
You see me? Yes. I will see. Yeah.
Waiting on more quality than one on the market, making access. So,
Mr. Ajayi. We are now up to 24 people on Zoom. Mr. Ajayi?
I'm with you.
Yeah, can you ask Mr. Osman to join the Zoom?
Yes, I've already told him. I think he's connecting also. I believe that there is a problem with his internet connection.
Okay, I see him now. Mr. Suleiman is coming in.
Okay.
I hope it works. He just left again.
Terrible. This is terrible, terrible.
It's okay. I mean, I hope you at least get something going. We are up to 25 people now.
Yes, I want to take notes of the attendance.
Now, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Is it the audio? Is it okay now?
Yeah, the audio is okay now. You are good to go.
My doctor.
We are good to go.
It's not easy, honestly.
No problem. I know it can be challenging at times.
It's not easy. I have to try and do. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You can share your
screen. So you can now start. You are good to go now.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
That's good. I hope you can see the screen very clearly.
Yes, you can.
That's good. Now I'll start by welcoming all of you. And I'll also thanks the organizers and everyone for this wonderful and the exceptional moment of time. And this is the time that the world is needing this kind of technology, or let me say computing issues. And I also thank you by giving me the privilege to be part of this team or part of the tutor to share their own knowledge, even though my Oga is with you, is the one that's opted me into, and is my big Oga. So permit me to start, please. I hope you can hear me. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. We can hear you.
Thank you. As you all see from the screen, I give the lecture of today, I give it a title, Getting Started with AI and Machine Learning. And I'm still by name Suleiman Omar S. Noma from the Department of Computer Science, Kebbi State Polytechnic, Dakingari. And the course, or this lecture, I divide it into 4 sections. If you can see the content for it, the first part is artificial intelligence. The second part, machine learning. We're going to look at the basics of it. Then Python programming language, then installation of some softwares and libraries like that. Then section 1, that is artificial intelligence. I hope you can hear me so that I want to start the major part. Hello?
Recording in progress.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, but you need to increase the volume of your mic.
No problem. Now I don't know the background of the most of the students, but let me just take it in general as the beginner. In general, I know some have already into the machine learning, while some are not. So let me just take it as the beginner course, so that if you are into or if you are not, then you get the rudiment. Then the AI content, that is artificial intelligence. We're going to look at the introduction to AI, a brief history of it, example of AI, area where AI can be found, then AI in your life. Then when we say
Someone
AI,
needs to mute their, please mute your mic, everybody, please. Mute your mic.
hello. Hello. Now, when we say AI, we mean artificial intelligence. But let's divide it into 2, meaning artificial and intelligence. Let's take intelligence first. When we say intelligence is the ability to think, understand, learn things instead of by instinct or automatically. Then the intelligence is issue that has to do with a human being, while artificial intelligence is a way or a science to make a computer do things that require intelligence such as human. How a computer will behave and act like a human being, that is artificial intelligence. While the intelligence that somebody can think, understand, or learn something, or discuss with somebody, or interact with people, or know about something in life, that is the intelligence, and it possesses, is a quality that possessed by human being. And how will a computer now possess such quality from a human being. And that is what we call it artificial intelligence now. Then the AI is a branch of computer science that think intelligently like a human being. Then look at this. If you look at AI-enabled computer or softwares that has human intelligence capability, if you look at the picture, you clearly see that a computer playing chess game with a human being. And at the same time, human being is playing interchangeably with a computer. And a computer is learning from the patterns or from the things that what the games is supposed to do, or what are the things that a human being installed or provided to the computer. So this is the computer, on the other hand, is an intelligent computer, while the other side is a human being. Then the history of AI. The history of AI is dated back by Alan Turing. We call it a Turing, he developed what is called a Turing test. The Turing test, when you look at, is how a human interrogator, will a computer fool a human interrogator? Is it possible? And that is what the Turing test developed, where it has, in the other side here, there's a human being and a computer. Well, in the other side here, there's a human being. Then you asked a computer question, then the computer, you also asked a human being question at the same time. Then you get the response from the two. So from there you evaluate, is the computer better than the human being or something like that? So but he developed this Turing test in 1950 and he died in 1954. And he's an English computer scientist. Then look at the examples of AI in the drone, in robotics, and other areas like that. And look at the areas where where artificial intelligence can be found. Perception like machine vision, robotics, natural language processing, that is natural language understanding, speech understanding, machine translations, expert system, machine learning, game playing. So here we're going to look at machine learning, but look, all these areas is an artificial intelligence area. You can be expert in natural language processing. You can be expert in machine translations, speech recognitions, and so many of them. But for our own part here, we're going to look at strict ourselves on machine learning. Now, intelligence system in everyday life. You can find an intelligence system in post office, banks, customer service, web, digital cameras, computer games, and other things like that. So like in the banks, automatic check readers, signatures, verifications, and other things, you can use AI to do that. From the post office, automatic address recognitions and sorting of mails, you can also use AI to do that. Then when you look at voice synthesizer, you can clearly see that how an AI is conversating with a human being. The synthesizer is conversations. What you said, Stephen Hawking, look at this Stephen Hawking from the picture. The AI system now clearly understanding what Stephen Hawking is going to say and what is the next word, or is predicting the kind of statement is going to make. These are just the example of AI, where AI can be found. Now, that is that in respect to AI a little bit. But in next part, we are going to look at the machine learning, and that is the main area and main focus of our today lectures. I hope you are with me and you can hear me. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you. Now, we are going to look at machine learning now. That is in section 2. When we say machine learning, we also call it ML or statistical learning or predictive learning. In some authors, they used to call it statistical learning, predictive learning, machine learning, computer learning. Those are the names given to machine learning. When you hear the word predictive learning, statistical learning, and other things like that, it means machine learning. Now, in machine learning, we're going to look at what is the machine learning, how does machine learning works, examples of area where we can find machine learning, relationship between AI, that is the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, steps in machine learning projects. What are the steps for you to conduct a machine learning project? What are the steps for you to follow? Then implementation of machine learning project, categories of machine learning. We're going to look at supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Then what is machine learning? When we say machine learning, what is that machine learning? Machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence that allow applications to become more accurate in predicting outcomes. Without explicitly programmed. Now, in previous system, we use programming like Java programming, PHP, C++, Visual Basic, and other things like that. We program software, and software will do a particular task for us. But in machine learning, a situation whereby a software application to become more accurate in predicting outcomes, that is what is called machine learning. To do so, machine learning algorithm using historical data as input to predict new output value. You need to provide a data for the models or for the algorithms, or let me call it for the machine or engines that you're going to use. Then it will learn from the data and predict the outcomes or predict the outputs or predict the next thing that you as a user, you are expected or is expected for you to know. And machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that focuses on building systems that learn or improve performance. And don't confuse yourself. Machine learning and artificial intelligence are not the same. Rather, machine learning is a subset. It's under artificial intelligence. But it is not everything in artificial intelligence is machine learning. That's what I mean. Like in artificial intelligence, we talk about, we have a natural language processing, machine translations, and other things like that. But everything in machine learning is artificial intelligence. But not everything in artificial intelligence is a machine learning. You should know about this. The machine learning algorithm work by finding patterns in data. We use algorithms in machine learning to find patterns in data, and they do this by building a model that learns from the data and then uses that model to make predictions about new data. Then the more the data the algorithm sees, the better it becomes at making predictions. The more the data for your algorithms or for your model, the better the results of your prediction. Therefore, the more the data filled in the engines or models or algorithms, then the better accuracy of the predictions or outputs in your machine learning project. The next thing, examples of areas where machine learning can be found. Machine learning can be found in self-driving cars, social medias, online shopping, robotics, language processing, Google Translate, that is vision processing, forecasting, stock markets, and the rest. And so many of them, not only this, there are so many areas. Even in your Facebook, you can find machine learning, in your Google Map and other things like that. Now, relationship between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. When you look at the graph clearly, for the whole cycle, that is the artificial intelligence. For the whole cycle, that is artificial intelligence. That's an intelligent machine that think and act like human being. That is artificial intelligence. Now, inside artificial intelligence, we have what is called a machine learning. This is the second one, this one. The system learn things without being programmed to do so. That is the machine learning. Look at when you look at it like this. Then inside the machine learning, we also have what is called a deep learning. Inside the machine learning, we have what is called a deep learning. That is machine think like human brains using artificial neural networks. That is it. Therefore, artificial intelligence comes first, followed by machine learning in artificial intelligence and deep learning in machine learning. So that is what this particular figure is trying to explain to us. Then the next thing.
Mr. Sloma, sorry,
Sir.
1 minute. I want to pass an information across.
Thank you.
Please check your chat. You will see the attendance for today's class. Please, attendance is very, very important. So I'll just place a link there. So please make sure that you fill the attendance. Thank you.
Can I continue now?
Yeah, you can continue, sir. Continue, please.
I hope you can hear me clearly, no problem, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, the next thing is the steps in machine learning project. What are the steps for you to follow when you are going to conduct a machine learning project or you are going to take up a machine learning project? Number one, you need to import the data, know where you can get the data. The data, you can form your own data for your own project, but the data must be in CSV file. Or you can go to kaggle.com, that's the popular site for data download and other things like that. Depending on the kind of project, the data is going to be depend on the kind of project you want to perform. Then the next thing, you clean the data, like a duplicate data. If you have a duplicate data, you clean the data based on your own choice, based on maybe the arrangement of the data, you clean the data the way you want. Then you split the data into training and the testing. Then mostly the training take 80% of the data, while testing take 20%. While some program or some project, you may decide to make the data 70-30, but the conventional one is 80 for the training, while 20 for the testing. Then you do that when you are coding this thing. Then the next thing, you create an algorithm or build a model, selecting your own algorithms in the scikit-learn. Most of the algorithms are there in the scikit-learn, like decision tree, k-NERST, Renable, and the rest. You used one of the algorithms you train the algorithms there. You train the algorithms or the model. You feed the model with the data. After you feed the model with the data, then you make predictions from the model. Then you evaluate the prediction and you improve your results. That is the steps 1 to 7. These are the steps that you follow when you are going to conduct a machine learning project. Then the next thing, machine learning, implementation of machine learning project. How do you implement the machine learning project? Machine learning is mostly implemented using programming language like Python, R, that supports the building of engines and training the engines to give predictions. And some, like I come across some books like that you can use MATLAB also for your machine learning project. You can use C++ and the rest like that. But the conventional one are Python and R. And Python is the most popular one, honestly, for the machine learning project. But if you like, you can use R and other things like that. Then for this, we shall be using Python as our programming language. Then the IDE for machine learning is Jupyter Notebook. Will be our integrated development environment to create our algorithms or models and feeding the models with data. But not necessarily is Jupyter you can use PyCharm, you can use Spider, you can use so many of the IDE like that that you wish for your machine learning. We are going to we are going to see the rest of them at the towards the end of the lecture, inshallah. Then categories of machine learning. When we say the categories of machine learning, we mean there's 3 categories of machine learning. There's supervised learning. Well, in other way, we call it level data. Then we have unsupervised learning, that is on level data. Then we also have reinforcement learning, that is feedback learning. Or in other way, you call them science of decision making. Whether you call it reinforcement learning or feedback learning or science of decision making, or you make it decision making learning. Anyone you call, it is it's okay, because most of the texts, when you look at it, it is called like that. Then let's look at them one by one. That is supervised learning first. When we talk about a supervised learning, when you look at this thing clearly, when we say supervised learning, is a method or way in which a machine or a model or an engine will learn from a categorical data. We call it categorical data or level data. That's why you call supervised learning categorical learning or level data or something like that. So when you look at from there, you have your input here, then you now process the inputs, the models, you process, the model will process the inputs, then and now give the output, that is the prediction, by saying it is an apple. When you look at your input is apple, it also processes it, and it also give you the result by saying, yes, it is an apple, because it's give the annotations, it's process on itself by learning it. But in supervised learning, you have to divide your data into input and output. You make your input and the corresponding output for your data. That's how you make your data. That is, you can separate it into 2 types. That is classification and regressions. The classification, that's a training data set, must include inputs and correct output. In the classification, your training data set must have an input and the correct output. Then the algorithms to use for this, you can use a linear classifier, spot vector machines, k-nearest neighbor, decision tree, and the rest like that. You use it for supervised learning stuff. Then the next one is when you look at, again, how machine learn, you have a non-data, that is the apple. You have a machine learning algorithms which process the data. Then the trained model will now give the result by saying, yes, it is an apple. So you give the data, then the engine, the algorithm will process the data. Then you train the data based on that data you inputted. Then you now ask the algorithm or ask the machine to predict or to give you the result. Then it now responds with a new response as telling you the data you give initially, it is an apple. But then the next one is unsupervised machine learning. Unsupervised machine learning, it is also called unlabeled data, and allowed to discover patterns and insight from the data. It is an unlabeled data and which allow to discover patterns and insight from the data. Then when you look at the figure here, your inputs comprise of so many data. There's a lemon, there's an apple, there's a peanut, and the rest like that. But the model now will now process your input, that is your own data, then and now you ask the model to separate the data, to give you to predict from the data. Then it will now separate and tell you the first is an apple, which is 2. The second is this peanut, which is this, and the third is the lemon, which is this. That is your own output. Then the usable things in machine learning organize large data sets into Machine learning organize large data sets into cluster, and they are useful for identifying previous undetected patterns in data. Then this is also an unsupervised learning. You have a cashew nut and a lemon. Look at it. If you have a machine learning algorithms, it will process the input. Then you train the model by giving your own input. Then you ask the model to predict. Then the model will now respond from it and separate the data into different categories. Then the next thing, that is the reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning, as I said, it is also called science of decision making, feedback learning, and other things like that. And look at how the machine learn in the reinforcement learning. The first thing, you have an agent, that is your own model. Your model serves as your own agent or an engine. Then you train the model, you release the model to give to the environment, to expect the environment, and you allow the model to give you a reward or an observation based on what the model have seen or based on what you have shown there. That's the reinforcement learning. And reinforcement learning, which is an autonomous self-teaching system that essentially learn by trial and error. Reinforcement learning is learning by trial and error. It performs actions with the aims of maximizing reward. Then look at it again. For the reinforcement learning, you have a trained data. Then the trained data will now enter into the trained machine learning algorithms. These are the trained learning machine algorithms. Then you process the data. Then you now come there, bring your own output, you train the data, you give out the results at the same time. Then the next thing, or let me say the last sections to look at is section 3 and 4. That's Python and libraries installations. These are what is Python libraries, what is Jupyter, Python and machine learning libraries, installation, usable links, and the rest like that. Now, when we say Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language with a dynamic semantics. It's high-level built-in data structures combined with a dynamic typing and dynamic binding, making it very attractive for rapid application development, as well as for uses in scripted languages and rest like that. So Python is an interpreted language. It's an object-oriented. We have a compile language and interpreted language, like a C++, Java. They are compiled language. You need to compile the language first, then before you run. But what Python is interpreting is executing line by line. While compiled language, you need to compile the language first, then before giving you the general results. So that is the, then what is programming libraries? Because we're going to talk about libraries. A programming library is a collection of pre-written code that programmers can use to optimize tasks. And this collection of reused code is usually targeted for specific common problems. A library usually includes a few different pre-coded components. Then how does the developer use the libraries? The developer use libraries to build up a website more efficiently. Each library is designed to provide a solution to a specific feature. This can include user authentication, server connection, user interfaces, data management, algorithms, animations, etc. And as I said, then programming libraries, developer will obtain lookup to libraries to help with a particular component. Now look at how to download and install Python. You go to this link, www.python.org/download. Once you get there, then you're going to see something like this. You click on this, that is download. If your system is Windows, you see Windows, you click for Windows, you download for Windows. If your system is Mac, you download for Mac and other source like that. Then once you click on download, you see it from your browser telling you that your recent download, your edition has been start downloading and the rest like that. Then the next thing we're going to look at is a Jupyter notebook. That's a Jupyter notebook. Then what is Jupyter notebook? Jupyter notebook is an open source web application that allows you to create and share documents that contain live code, equations, visualizations, and narrative text. Uses include data cleaning and transformation, numerical simulation, statistical modeling, data visualization, machine learning, and much more. Meaning we use a Jupyter notebook to develop or to write our code. You use Jupyter notebook is an IDE used for writing Python programming code and other programming issue, machine learning, and the rest. And Jupyter notebook use Python 3 or greater, or Python 2.7 or greater, and the rest like that. And you can get Jupyter notebook using a pip package, that is Python package installer indexed. Then to install Jupyter using pip, we need to first install Python or check if Python is updated in our system. For you to install Jupyter, you need to firstly install Python. You need to install Python programming, Python software in your system first. Then after you install Python in your system, then you go ahead by installing Jupyter. How do you do that? You can also check the command to update your pip. You can install it using pip. You go to command prompt. You type pip install Jupyter notebook or notebook as you can see. But if your pip is outdated or if you want to upgrade your pip, you type python-m pip install -- upgrade pip. As you can see from the screen here, then it automatically upgrade your pip and allow you to install so many Python package. Then that pip meaning Python package manager or Python package indexed. So you can install pip install notebook or pip install this, pip install so many package that you want to install using the Python. We're going to see it in the next hour, this thing. Now, to launch Jupyter using the command line, launch the command line using the CMD, type Jupyter notebook. Once you install Jupyter, you go to your command line, type CMD from your this thing, then enter your command prompt, then you just type Jupyter notebook. Automatically Jupyter will be launched. But if you want to install Jupyter, as I said, you type pip install Jupyter from the folder, from your machine learning folder. You have to create your machine learning folder, the folder where you want to do all your machine learning project. You create that folder first. After you create the folder, maybe you can keep the folder in your desktop or you keep the folder somewhere in your system. Then you locate from the command line CD, you change directory to that particular folder. Then after you change directory to the particular folder, then you now say pip install Jupyter, then it will automatically install the Jupyter notebook for you. Then you can just test by printing hello world and other things like that. Then Python and machine learning libraries. Then these are the libraries for machine learning and Python. If you want to run machine learning, you need this library: NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Scikit-learn. A NumPy provides multidimensional array, and it is also used for data manipulations, while Pandas is a data analysis library with many data frames, two-dimensional data structures like a spreadsheets in rows and columns, and it is also used for data random generations. Now, if your data is based on rows and columns, you import Pandas as PD, you do your manipulations there. If you want to plot a graph, maybe you need a graph plotting in your project, or you need your result to be in graph, you import Matplotlib. It's also a libraries. You install it. Then there's a scikit-learn, which consists of decision tree, neural networks, and other things like that. So you also install all these things using pip install NumPy, pip install Panda, pip install Matplotlib, pip install scikit-learn from the command prompt. But if you have Anaconda or Miniconda in your system, or you download Anaconda, link for downloading Anaconda is there. Anaconda has the libraries already on it, so you can just go ahead and use it. You just go ahead and use it if you have Anaconda, because Anaconda is a collection of all the machine learning and Python libraries like that. Then look at the useful links for the like Anaconda. If you want to download Anaconda, you click on this link, you get, if you need a Miniconda, Miniconda is a small version of Anaconda. Then you can also use Google Colab to run your program. You can use PyCharm to do your work. You can also use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. And you can use Visual Studio Code integrated with Jupyter to do also your work and the rest like that. Thank you for your listening and other things like that. Thank you. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate,
Please,
sir.
please, as I said from the beginning, I'm sorry. I'm also a student like you. So, like most of the students, I'm also a student. So please bear with me, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you, for giving me time.
Thank you.
Hello. 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 Can you hear me, Mr. Sulaiman?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the lecture and for the opportunity. We really appreciate. But I'm also wondering if there are people with questions as well on this very particular lecture. Maybe before
I share the links. I share the link, the full links. I share it in the chat. You can.
Okay.
If you need to download anything, I share the links in the chat. You can just get the links there.
Then in particular, who is Ismaila Odunayo? Ismaila Odunayo, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
One of the things that is very critical whenever we're in class is for you to mute. Throughout the lecture, we couldn't even hear most of the things because of the noise coming from your head. And I sent you a message, there was no response and all of that. It's just the normal etiquette in virtual class to mute unless you want to speak. And also, I could also see that there wasn't concentration even from your hand for some time during the class. This is something we want to watch out for subsequently. Okay?
I'm really sorry, sir.
Yeah. Does anyone have a question for our facilitator on this very particular lecture?
Oh. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please, I just want to ask if you're going to be having access to the presentation slide.
Well, one thing that we know for sure is that the video is going to be on your team for you to be able to access and go through later on. As far as the specific slide, that might be something we might have to have conversations with our facilitator on the intellectual property. Ismail Odunayo, you are still not muted. You are still not muted. It's still noisy. Okay, Benga Ajayi, I could see that you are raising your hand. Please go ahead, Benga Odunayo. Benga Ajayi, sorry. If you are speaking, we can't hear you because you are muted. Benga Ajayi, are you there? I actually don't have the ability to unmute you. Are you saying you can't unmute yourself? Maybe our facilitator is the host. Maybe he could unmute Benga Ajayi. Can you kindly help unmute Benga Ajayi, sir?
That's what I'm trying to.
Benga, if that doesn't work, could you type your question? Maybe we can read it out. Benga Ajayi, are you typing the question or working on it? Oh, okay. Sir, I don't know whether you've seen the question from Benga Ajayi. He's asking a question about deep learning, that component was a little bit confusing for him. That maybe just a brief explanation on what that part it's all about.
Is Benga Ajayi seeing? Is Benga Ajayi seeing the screen?
I think I can see the screen, which means everybody should be seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the screen clearly, when you look at I said artificial intelligence or machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, while deep learning is also a subset of machine learning, which machines, when we say machines, we mean the algorithms or the engines or models. Think like human brains or use artificial neural network. How, let me just use this, let me give you this example. Like in deep learning, you can use deep learning to develop a system that think and behave like a human being. Let me use this term. We all know what is called dictionary, like this advanced learner dictionary and other things like that. So, and whenever you want to search for a word, the meaning of a word, let me say word come or go or admit, you open the letter C for come, then you locate CO, that is COM, then you now get the meaning from there. Then you can develop a system using a deep learning where you give in all this kind of English word. And whenever you ask questions, automatically it will use the data imported on it and give you the result immediately. And that particular, or you can go to what is called a Google Talk to Book. Search Google Talk to Book is clearly good example of deep learning, where you ask question, the Google will search online and give you from the books where that particular question, maybe your question is, or the statement you put, or everything you put, where is it, or how it's work. And you also use question answering system. Question answering system is also part of the deep learning. You ask questions, then you receive answer from someone. You ask a robot a question, the robot will give you answer, or you ask a system question, the system will give you answer, or something like that nature. It's part of the deep learning aspect of AI. And mostly it uses artificial neural networks, like convolutional neural networks and other CNN and other neural networks like that. So that's a little bit about that. Thank you. Any other thing? Hello?
We can hear you, sir. So maybe this to all the students and the candidate here. We learn when we ask questions. For instance, now, because Benga has this question, that has given our facilitator
and to me,
opportunity to dig in.
To me, for my suggestion, if you say the student has their system with them, we can just go ahead for the installations. Let me be guiding on how to install this thing online, so that it will help them whenever they have an issue or any other things. We resolve it here. Take lots of taking the links. Maybe when you go, you don't know where and how you make things. So you can just make the students all the students has their system with them. What's the system with them? Or some are using mobile phones for the lectures. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. I think I'm back.
I say is all the students has the computer system with them right now?
Yeah, some of us do.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
I'm receiving two answers. Someone are saying yes, someone are saying no.
Some of us do, like I have myself.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. Some have their computer with them, but it seems there are a few people that are actually attending with their phone as well.
Their phones, it's okay. Now, if you have computer with you, you go ahead and start downloading the Python. You download the Python from this. You download the Python first. Are you with me? Let me share the whole of my screen, the whole screen. I hope you can see the whole of the screen, right? Can you see the whole of the screen? Can you see my browser?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We can see it.
Can you see my browser?
Yes.
So go ahead, type in your link, python.org. You type python.org from your browser, python.org. Once you type python.org, you see download here. If your system is window, come here on the window, click on Windows. While if your system is Mac, come here on the Mac, click on Mac. Like mine is a window. So you come here, you see Python 3.12.1. So you click on it, then it will start downloading, but it will take some time because it's approximately almost getting to 200, 300 MB like that, or more than that. So after you do that, you also move to what is called Anaconda. Anaconda.com. /download. /download. If you want to use Anaconda, so you download the Anaconda. It's almost 1 gig. Anaconda is almost 1 gig. It has all the Python packages and the distributions, all the Python distributions that you want. It is there. And if maybe the size is much for you, you can also move to Miniconda like this. Miniconda.com. Miniconda.com. It is lower version of Anaconda. Then you download the Miniconda, which is a lower version of Anaconda. So you need to get the Python first, then you now get this. Then after that, you come. Maybe let me say, let me forget about Anaconda first. After you download the Python, then you need to come to what is called CMD. You go to your you go to this particular place. When you look at my desktop here, I have a folder called Python. Well, let me create another folder here. You give the folder a name. You give it a name called maybe you give it a name called ML. In this, are you with me? Yes. Are you with me?
I think you are too fast.
Am I very fast?
You are too fast. Yes.
Is it? Am I very fast? Hey, why I say that it is going to take time. Oh, let's go back to Python downloads. All of you are here, right? You are here. Are you here? Hello, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So have you downloaded the Python? Once you download the Python, it's going to show you.
We have not done setup.
Look at this. Are you seeing these files now? Are you seeing these files?
Yes.
And once you download the file, it will. Have you seen the files now? So once you download the file, it's going to be saved in your folder like this. You double click on it. You double click as normal installation. You want to install. You want to install the setup. Like me now, since I have it in my system, that is why it's asking me whether to modify, repair, or uninstall. But like you now, if you don't have it in your system, it will ask you to install. That you click on next, you accept the license agreement, then you move on down or to the final stage that you install. Are you off to this place? Are you with me now here? Are you with me here now? Hello?
Not yet, sir.
Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Because I don't. If you say you must finish downloading all the application, that's why I want you to get the steps. You can go there and do the work by yourself. But it's hardly, I don't know for the organizers whether they can wait up to the time that the Anaconda finish downloading almost 1.something gig, Python finish downloading almost 500 MB, this finish downloading up to this MB for all the students. I don't know whether the organizers will stay up to that time. But for me, I don't have any. Dr. Ajayi? Dr. Ajayi? Hello? Hello, class.
Hello?
Hello, class. Are you with me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
I've been able to download and I've all of my system.
Are you following my steps now? Have you followed the steps that I'm with you now?
Yes, sir. So I've downloaded and it has asked whether I want to install and I've clicked OK and then install success.
Yeah, have you is it the Python you download or Anaconda?
Python, sir.
Python. Now that's good. That's great. That's great. What about Anaconda? Have you downloaded Anaconda?
I want to try that answer.
Hey, and now listen, understand me. I'm giving you two options there. It's not necessary you must download Anaconda, understand me. I'm not saying you must download Anaconda, but one important thing about Anaconda is when you download Anaconda, it has all the necessary features or distributions for the Python and machine learning. It has all those features. Like Jupyter is there in Anaconda, Spider is there in Anaconda, PyCharm is there in Anaconda, and VS Code, so many of them, they are all there in Anaconda. Are you with me? Okay. That is another one side of the work. Then another issue that I wanted to get is you can just go ahead and download your PyCharm, your Jupyter using what is it called? Using command front. You know command front? Do you know command front?
Not exactly, sir.
Now, press from your computer keyboard, press Window key plus R, You see a run environment, a run window will display run. Window key plus R. Have you seen it here? A small something here? Yeah. Have you seen it? Eh? Run. Here, this place, run. Now, on the run, you type CMD, like this. Then you press enter, pop. Then a window like this will open. Or if you like, you can also go to what is it called? The system administrator site. But it's better you use this part because I want to show you how you can install all the libraries or most of the thing in your folder, in the folder where you want to do your machine learning project. You create a folder in your desktop and give it any name you wish. And that folder should be your machine learning project. And give it any name you wish in your system, preferably in your desktop because of the parts. Because when you're doing programming, the moment you import any of the libraries, you need to locate the part where those particular library is. And when you keep your own, what is it called? Your CSV file, you need to locate where the CSV file is because of the usage. So are you with me? Are we here?
Yes.
What about the rest of the students? Are we here?
Yes, we are here.
Yes, we are with you, sir.
If you have question, ask before I move on. If you have question, ask. So now from here now, understand in my desktop here, I have a folder called ML. Look at the folder here, ML. The last folder here called ML folder. That is, I give it a name, ML folder. That is machine learning folder. Then I can come to my this thing and I say CD, change directory to ML. Change directory to desktop first, to desktop because the ML folder is in desktop. Change directory to desktop. I now enter desktop. Up. You see the information changed from user NCC to what? User NCC/desktop. Are we there? Are we there?
Yes.
Let me hear from the majority because only
Yes.
one voice I hear, yes. Are we there?
I should please talk now.
Just want to follow your step
Yes,
by step.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe you have feel exhausted. Let's make it let's stop where we are now so that we can continue when next. Because maybe others have been exhausted, maybe data or any other things like that.
Maybe you can just give us the step procedure, sir, and then we try it on our own.
No problem. I will make the procedure. I send it to Dr. Ajay. Dr. I will share it in the group.
All right then. Thank you, sir.
And I will do that. No problem. I think it's better. Let's make the procedure on written so that I will just share the procedure. Then you just go ahead. And the links is there on the chat. I will send all the procedure to you so that you just go ahead and start making your things. I think it's better like that. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's much more better. So, and if everybody follow the procedure, if they have any question, they can then, take that up in the group discussion.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you, class, for your this thing. So try and do that because I think next time you need to learn how you can walk around with the. I don't know what type of the type of IDE other tutors we use, but for my own parts, mostly I like to use Jupyter, honestly, for my own parts. But I don't know other tutors. Other may like to use PyCharm, other may like to use Spider, may like to use other things like that. But before we use the PyCharm, I also want you to know how to walk around with the Jupyter and how you can walk around with it, how you want to know this part, this, that, you know, all the components or all the menus and some menus on how it, then how you can create a project and other things like that before the major things. I think that is just that. Oh, my doctor will be there, Dr. Ajayi, to and other co-authors, other tutors, I mean. So thank you. I will share this thing to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Please concentrate.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, let us appreciate our facilitator. We really appreciate the time and everything. And I'm guessing you have specific assignments for us before the next class, right? In terms of installation of all these packages and
yes, that is the assignment. You install all the packages and run them before you test them before the next class.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Right.